Welcome back to the 2017 Giant Monster Games Advent Calendar. We are on day number 27, and today is going to be Dredge, the more traditional Dredge, the one that you actually see running around in the top 8, except a budget version of that. What is Dredge, you may ask? Well, Dredge is a mechanic where you, instead of drawing a card, you may put X number of cards from the top of your library into your graveyard, and then return a specific card from your graveyard to your hand. In this case, we have a Golgari Thug and Stinkweed Imp. Both are Dredge cards for us. They are very effective because they are allowing us to dredge. That's the whole point why they're in the deck. Now, what are we actually aiming to dredge? Well, we actually are aiming to do a little bit of combo stuff, such as using Prized Amalgam and Narcomoeba to actually get value as we dredge. So, Narcomoeba is whenever it goes into your graveyard from your library, so when you're dredging, you may put it onto the battlefield instead of just leaving it in your graveyard. Prized Amalgam is whenever a creature leaves your graveyard and enters the battlefield, you may return it at end of turn tapped to play under your control. So we're aiming to get a bunch of extra little triggers and get Prized Amalgams and Narcomoebas and a variety of other stuff relatively cheap or free from our graveyard into play. And this is how we're gonna overwhelm our opponent. How are we actually getting stuff into our graveyard, by the way, or how are we actually managing to do the dredge stuff? Well, we have Cathartic Reunion and Prized Neonate. Both of these guys are gonna be allowing us to pitch cards into the graveyard so we can throw away a card that has dredge and then immediately dredge it back into our hand. So this is what the deck is trying to do. If you wanna see an entire deck tech up in the top right hand corner, like always, you can go and click on that and see what this deck actually is supposed to be doing, because it's actually pretty complicated and it kind of takes a little bit of understanding of all the working pieces to understand. Also, if you want to pick this deck up for MTGO, there's a link below this video where you can do that quick and snappy. Okay, we're gonna throw it over to Adrian and he's gonna play some Dredge. That is correct. We are playing a little bit more of a traditional Dredge deck. Unfortunately, though, it is, well, I say unfortunately, but it's not really unfortunate. We can keep this opening hand, by the way. We can definitely keep this. So, the big thing about Dredge is actually a red-green deck, not a red-black deck. It's a red-green with splash of black for a couple reasons. We are not playing that version. We are playing a red-black version with a splash of green in the sideboard, which, looking back, was a terrible idea. And it looks like we're playing against Izzet Delver, which is fun. Izzet Delver is perfectly fine. We are just going to go for it, though, right away. So let's just go like this. Neonate, flipping her down, cracking it off, tossing this out, dredging this guy back, and then shipping it to our opponent's turn. There we go. That was a quick, nice, fun little turn. Turn 1. Turn 2, we're going to Cathartic Reunion and get this party started in the, like, most crazy possible way possible. Opponent, nice. Opponent gets a flip, is Delver of Secrets right away. That's always fun. So, okay, backing up, I'm going to explain a little bit about this version of Dredge versus the, like, more competitive version of Dredge and the Dredge Unearthed deck that I had earlier that you guys probably also saw. That was neat. And the big difference is this one here is aiming to do stuff like Prized Amalgams, where you're bringing stuff out of your graveyard and then getting extra value off of your creatures. Where the other one is trying to, the Dredge Unearthed deck is kind of balancing, putting stuff into your graveyard, playing stuff. So you're not like dredging all the time, where with this dredge deck, you're basically dredging every single turn. There's almost no reason not to dredge every single turn. Oh, Young Pyromancer. So, yeah, that's a huge difference. So, example, we can dredge right now. We're going to dredge Stinkweed Imp, so let's dredge Stinkweed Imp. Then we're going to, I don't know, play a Swamp, play a Cathartic Reunion, and then we're going to toss these two guys into the graveyard. And then we're going to dredge them back. Stinkweed Imp is the better of the two, technically. And might as well do Stinkweed Imp twice. And then a Golgari Thug. We need a Narcomoeba. Come on, Narcomoeba. No Narcomoebas for us. Oh, no. That's terrible. That's a terrible... I mean, to dump half of your deck and not get a single Narcomoeba. Narcomoeba is one of the things that triggers our stuff coming out. Because the big thing is we have these Prized Amalgams, which we want to come out of our graveyard. And do we have anything? Did we get a... We got a Hellspark Elemental in there at least, which is good. We also have Extractor Demon, which will be nice as well. So next turn we're going to probably Extractor Demon swing at our opponent's face. So yeah. So the difference now, sorry, now I'm going to digress back to what I was talking about. The difference between this deck and the more aggressive version of this deck is it runs green primarily instead of black primarily as its secondary color. So what it's aiming to do in the other one is there's 2 cards. Is it 2 cards? No, there's just 1. It's a single card, and it's Life of the Loam. Life of the Loam. So Life of the Loam is Dredge at its Dredge, and it allows you to return 2 Stinkweed Imp, by the way. Still no... Really? Not very fun at all. Well, I think what we're going to end up doing is we're going to Faithless Looting out of our graveyard. Because we're going to draw 2 cards, which are just going to be Dredge, Dredge, and then we're going to toss stuff away. Yeah. See if our opponent has a counter for this. If our opponent has a counter, that's going to suck. It is Mana Leak. Not the end of the world. The thing about this is we also have black mana to cast these things for next turn. So that's a thing that happens. I can't believe that. No, we can't pay that. I'm having a hard time believing this right now. This is bad odds. We have dumped 2/3 of our deck into the graveyard, and we have 4 Narcomoebas in the deck. Narcomoeba comes into your graveyard. If it gets put into your graveyard from your library, you may put it into play. So it helps trigger all of our prized amalgams. It helps trigger a bunch of other stuff. This has just been really bad luck. This is called bad luck. This is a really good Dredge, really bad luck. The other thing about this, the difference between this deck and the more competitive version of this deck, we can't do anything here either, is the more competitive version of the deck also runs Bloodghast, which is whenever a land enters the battlefield, you get to return it from your graveyard to play. So that also triggers, prized amalgams, which is a lot better. And our opponent cracks and fetches. What is our opponent doing? Our opponent has enough mana for Cryptic Command as well at this point, which is not very helpful for us. And he's going to bolt. Okay. Bolting, surprising. Surprise boltage. Does he have double bolt? It looks like it is Snapcaster Bolt again. So we're going to go to sideboard. we totally got stomped. I just had a really bad. It was just a really, really bad Dredge. Super unlucky Dredge. So there we go. Go to sideboard. That was really quick. Unfortunately quick. Yeah. Okay, go to sideboard. That was amazing. That was amazing, amazing. So, because we are playing against a deck that... What do I want to do? I think we need some straight-up removal. Lightning Axe is going to come in. Lightning Axe comes in. We should probably either put Ancestral Grudge or Nature's Claim. I think we're going to go with Ancient Grudge. Ancestral Grudge. Ancient Grudge. We're going to throw Ancient Grudge in because it destroys target artifact. Is there any blue or red artifacts that we're not worried about? No. But we are worried about artifacts. So might as well put this in there. And I think we're going to just throw in 2 of these guys. Pop out probably 2 mountains in replace of them. This is really bad, by the way. Don't do this. This is back before I was better at building decks where I put like lands on the sideboard. Why? I don't know. Well, I know why, because I was really bad at building decks. When I built this deck, I wasn't super bad, but it was definitely not as good as I am nowadays. And we're going to leave Extractor Demons in because I think they're going to be a good way of potentially winning. But I think we take out what? Faithless Looting. Kind of want to take out... we'll take out a single Faithless Looting. Actually... do we take out a Faithless Looting? I think we do. I think we actually take out a single Extractor Demon. And I think we also pull out a single Hellspark Elemental. Kind of just weaken ourselves amongst a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah. Okay, we're going to go back. We're going to try Dredging 2.0. I just can't believe how bad of luck we got on our dredges. So we're going to play first. And again, good opening hand. Very strong opening hand. We can keep this. We just need to actually not get ourselves completely screwed over. That's all. That's all. This deck, I will say, this deck is one of those decks that I want to do a deck tech of, or like revisit, simply because there is this version of the deck can be upgraded quite a bit. I think going the way of words and things that I don't know how to say right now. Going the way of green, more Jund colors, where you're actually putting in a fair amount of green as the main thing. Hey, look, we got Narcomoebas. Got 2 of them this time. That's exciting. Always exciting. Yes. Okay, there's our Narcomoebas. We literally just needed 1 of them. That's all we needed was a single Narcomoeba. Sigh. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to go green with this deck in the main board. Or at least fortify with a little bit of green, just so we have better sideboard options. Because right now we don't really have good sideboard options. And we do have a Golgari Thug in the graveyard, which is nice as well. So, I guess we go Dragon Skull Summit, Cathartic Reunion. Now here's the thing. If we go Golgari Thug, for sure, but if we go Prize Amalgam, we can actually try and get it out of our graveyard. Which might not be terrible. Which way do I want to go? Thug guarantees we get a Dredge a bunch. Where Thug Amalgam is more risky, but we're gonna go with Thug Amalgam, even though I think Thug's probably the better of the bet, or better call. See if our opponent also has a counter. Probably, I guess no, he doesn't have a counter. So, oh, Stinkweed Imp. We get Narcomoebas triggering, which is nice. And we didn't have any more, so we actually ended up drawing. And we're gonna use the ability on this guy. And then that guy triggers, which means we draw. We drew Innocent Neonate, which is actually quite good. Okay, so we did a bunch of triggering. So, let's go to attack with all creatures. I enjoy playing Dredge, but Dredge is like a weird thing. I wish that we could like expand the graveyard more and have these so they're all separated out into like different decks. Because when I play Dredge in paper, I actually separate my graveyard into 3 different piles, which in Modern you're allowed to do. If you're playing Legacy, you're not allowed to actually do that. But in Modern, you can arrange your graveyard however you want because there are no cards that matter what order they go into your graveyard. Keep that in mind. That is a fun fact that a lot of people don't actually know, because if you're playing Legacy, there are cards that matter the order they go into your graveyard. Sweet, another one of those. In that case, do we rush our opponent? I think we're just gonna rush our opponent. Hold on, cancel. We could Dredge. Was it gonna be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? I think we're gonna try Extractor Demon. We're gonna try rush our opponent. We'll see if he has answers. I normally would want to Dredge, but the fact that we have a couple of these guys in play seems like a decent thing. Attack all. See what our opponent has to say. So we're on turn 3, swinging 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage. And go to our opponent's turn. Extractor Demon gets exiled. Sure. Opponent cracks a land. That's never fun. When you're like, oh, down to 5, cracking a land. Okay, so our opponent, what do they have? What does our opponent have? Our opponent scoops it. They don't have any answer. We're going to sideboard again. And I don't think we change anything. I don't think we change anything at this point. There's nothing I really want to keep in here. So I think we just run it back the way it is. And game 3. Ooh. Is this hand keepable? Yeah, marginally though. Like, just barely keepable. Just barely. I mean, Narcomoeba is a dead card in our hand. Opponent is going to crack Polluted Delta. And just barely keepable. Double Cathartic Reunion is nice. Even if we are just going to pitch away at Narcomoeba and potentially like Golgari Thug, which is option technically. If we draw another land, I'd be actually really happy. Specifically a black land, or a swamp. A swamp of some sort would be nice. Not always the case. Yeah. So our opponent scries for turn 1, which is okay. They have to have some kind of graveyard hate as well. We just didn't see it last turn. Another Narcomoeba. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. And we will just go ham right now. So here we go. Discarding the Thug. Dredging the Thug. Instead of drawing a card. Narcomoeba. Oh, we get Narcomoeba. That's nice. Yes, we're going to put it into play. And then ship it to our opponent's turn. And I think for next turn, we're just going to Cathartic Reunion, dumping Narcomoeba Thug, and try and Dredge. We're going to draw a card as well. We don't have anything to Dredge right now in our graveyard, which is unfortunate. The other thing is, like, when our opponent leaves up a bunch of mana like this, that's kind of scary. Because if he has a counter spell of any kind, ooh, scary for us. No, he's going to pay something. He's going to play something. It's going to be Young Pyromancer. Well, that's good for us. Good for us. He probably evaluated and said, okay, he doesn't have a Dredge card in hand or in the graveyard, so I can kind of go for it. And let's go Cathartic Reunion, which is just substantially more aggressive than Neonate. So we can go like this. Tossing away these two guys. Drawing Thug. And just drawing a Drakmar Salvage. Not the funnest thing. And yes, this will trigger as per normal. Well, Drakmar Salvage is good. Simply because we can play it and get access to black mana now. And I guess we just swing in with that guy and go. Nothing really exciting. That was kind of it was pretty weak. It was pretty weak. But getting black mana, though, we can get the 5/5 flyer into play, which is always going to be nice. So ship it to our opponent's turn. Next turn, we'll play the Salvage or draw into something. Again, we can also, I mean, on our turn, we'll probably do this guy as well. See if our opponent leaves up mana to counter stuff, which he likely will. Prized Amalgam, not the best. So let's Cathartic Reunion. The nice thing about Cathartic Reunion, by the way, is even if we don't get to draw 3 cards off of it because our opponent counters it, the cost to cast it is to discard 2 cards. So our opponent can't prevent us from discarding cards anyways. So, which is nice. It's quite nice. At this point, I kind of want to toss out the Prized Amalgam as well. But I think we're going to try to go like this. We're going to go Thug, and then try and dredge our way into victory. Dredging victory, which is, I guess, the name of the game, technically. So, okay, there we go, Mana Leak. As I said, he doesn't prevent us from actually putting stuff into the graveyard. So, we still have these guys we can dredge next turn. We just don't get to draw and dredge right now. Which is technically, I mean, it's beneficial for our opponent, which is a good idea, but not really the end of the world for us. So, actually, I guess it probably would have been better to go Thug, Prized Amalgam. Because then when we actually do something like we play, I don't know, something like, what do we have in here? We gotta have something in here that we can play it over it. Yeah, so we play the Extractor Demon. Then we would have got Prized Amalgam come back, which would have been an option. So there we go, shipping it to our opponent's turn. The other thing about this deck when I'm upgrading it, I'm totally going to upgrade it so there's at least 1 island in the deck, so you can potentially fetch up something to play Narcomoeba or Prized Amalgam, because right now you can't play either. They're just not possible to play. So it's one thing about it. I mean, if you're playing the non-budget version of the list, there's so many ways of pitching cards into your hand that you just don't care. You just, whatever, play. Where with this version of the deck, because we're kind of using some kind of unearthed creatures to kind of make the deck actually function, Prized Amalgam doesn't get triggered as often. It's not as easy to get out of your hand. It's not as easy to discard cards. So going to our turn, we will Thug, dredging, Prized Amalgam. That's fun. So I think at this point we will Neonate, discarding Prized Amalgam, draw a card, Stinkweed Imp. And then I think we just play the Golgari Thug. I think that's what we do. And then go like this, attack. The reason why we played Thug as well, because Thug's actual ability is when he dies, put target creature from your graveyard on top of your library. So what we do is we actually put this Narcomoeba back on top of your library, which then, when we dredge for something else next turn, we get to re-dredge the Narcomoeba, which then triggers Prized Amalgams, and the cycle continues. The evolution of life, if you will. So, yeah, that's where we're going to go. And we're really aiming to chump block with Dredge, with this guy. The only way he can deal with it as well is to buy, like, Exile in this guy, so. Which, technically, he shouldn't really have. I mean, there's a couple things. There's a couple things he could have. Anger of the Gods is really strong against Dredge. So, here we go. Bam. Go to Declare Blockers. You block. He dies. I get happy, because when he dies, I get to return a creature, specifically Narcomoeba, to the top of my library, which is going to get these Prized Amalgams back next turn, which I think is exciting. Please don't have something that will get rid of my graveyard, though. No, he's drawing cards. Our opponent needs graveyard hate right now. Like, and this is why, I mean, for the record, people, this is why you need to have graveyard hate, is because a deck like Dredge comes along, and if you don't have graveyard hate, it's really hard to beat. And there's a lot of really cheap budget graveyard hate out there. I mean, Tormod's Crypt is like a perfect example. It's like a 15 or 25 cent card. Bam, gets rid of graveyards. It helps you out a lot. Okay, so Stinkweed Imp. Clean up for our opponent. Stinkweed Imp is going to be the dredge of choice. Prized Amalgam is going to be popping out of our graveyard. All 3 of them, actually, which is fun. And yes. So we have 24 cards in our library currently, which means we can still dredge some more. We can still do more dredge action. And the question here is, do I do that, or do I start just doing Extractor Demons? I think we're just going to try the Extractor Demons. Swinging for more damage seems like a funner, better bet for me. Yeah, go for it. We're going for it. Opponent cracks the Polluted Delta. What does he have? Is there any one cast spell? Vapor Snag on the Extractor Demon. Okay. I mean, that's... Sure? It gets exiled, which is fine. And then I guess we attack in with just those two guys. And then I think we ship it to our opponent's turn. And see what he has to say. Yes, these can go in whatever order. So we get our prize amalgams back, which is good. He needs that Anger of the Gods right now. Mind you, the problem with Anger of the Gods is it also hurts his stuff. Really hurts. So Anger of the Gods does 3 damage to all creatures, and any creature that would be destroyed or killed by Anger of the Gods gets exiled instead of goes to your graveyard. So what is happening is your prized amalgams, which you kind of are doing this recursion thing with, go to the exile zone, which is not very fun. Well, I mean, it's fun for your opponent if they want to get rid of all your stuff, but not very fun for Dredge players. So, yeah. And does our opponent swing in? I mean, if he swings in... No, he doesn't. He decides not to swing in. And we can do Stinkweed Imp. Might as well put more stuff in the graveyard. And what do we want to do? We could probably Hellspark Elemental. Do I want a Hellspark Elemental? The other option is to play this guy. Let's just go Hellspark Elemental. Why not? Why not? What do we have to lose, really? What do we have to lose? The answer is, something? Maybe? I don't know yet. Going to combat, see if our opponent has something. Is it another Vapor Snake? It is Opt. Okay, so he's going to create more of these guys, which is fine. Creates a bunch of elementals. Are we swinging for lethal? We are swinging for lethal right now. So that is something our opponent needs to keep in mind, is we are swinging for lethal, which means he's going to have to block a bunch of them. Because... yeah, and this guy is Trample, so he has to block more than one here as well. So, go to combat, attacking with all creatures. We have 15 life, so we can just go ham. Go ham! Go to your opponent's face! Is It Delver? I love this deck, by the way. The Is It Delver deck. Very fun. This is actually a very, very close build to the one that I put up on the channel, which makes me very happy. Makes me very happy. Okay, so he loses a bunch of elementals. We still get in a bunch of damage. 3, 4, 5 damage to be exact. And do we have... what is the Ancient Grudge? What does it actually cost again? We have it in our graveyard, right? Flashback of 1 green. Destroy target artifact. He doesn't have any artifacts, so that's fine by me. Hellspark Elemental goes away, even though it's already dead. So, and ship it to our opponent's turn. Does our opponent have an answer? The one thing also that we could use, and this is actually one of the things that's in the more aggressive version, is most of the aggressive versions have Confligate, which is a card you can play to your graveyard, discard X cards, and it deals that much damage. So theoretically, we have a bunch of cards like this in our hand. We can just play Confligate, discard 4, do 4 damage to our opponent's face, which is fun. Also puts Dredgers in your graveyard. So he opts to get more elementals. He needs a counterspell to deal with Extractor Demon. Mind you, we'll probably... is there another Hellspark Elemental in our graveyard? Nope, 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 nope. I wish you could make this bigger. What if you can? Can you make this bigger? Looks like the answer is no. So creating more tokens. So he's scrying, he's looking for answers, I think. Oh, we do have a Hellspark Elementals right there. So we could probably swing in for lethal next turn. Probably swing in for lethal. We'll see what we draw. That's the next question. Our opponent really needs graveyard removal. I mean, at this point, and this is actually one thing, so when you're playing against Dredge, if you have a 7-card hand, and it's pretty good, but not amazing, you should probably consider, hey, should I mulligan to try and find better graveyard hate? A serious question you should be asking yourself. Okay, so what does our opponent do? Does he attack in? I don't think so. It doesn't make sense. I'm actually a little bit surprised our opponent's not scooping. I'm not really sure what he has as an out right now. So, that's a thing. And do we keep dredging? We could keep dredging, or we could just draw regularly. Might as well dredge. I mean, our deck is designed to dredge. There's another Extractor Demon. And Faith is Looting. Ooh, exciting. So, well, let's go like this. Let's play the Extractor Demon, see if our opponent has an answer. Does our opponent have an answer? Well, to find out, go to combat, swing with everything. GG. We got the GGs from our opponents. Okay, well, there we go. That is how Dredge is supposed to work. The first game really sucked for our Dredge because we didn't get any Narcomoebas, but there you go. Until next time, this has been Dredge, like more traditional Dredge, and my name's Adrian, this is the Advent Calendar, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to game like a giant monster! Thanks for watching the GiantMonsterGames Advent Calendar. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe if you like this video and want to see more videos just like it. A huge shout out to all of the Patreon supporters. You guys are helping make videos like this, and if you want to pick this deck up, there is a link below with an affiliate link so you can grab this entire deck on MTGO.